It's Friday, and that means it's large format Friday. The truth of the matter is, large format starts with the camera, but can get way more involved as we start needing and adding all these extra little pieces of kit. In fact, I call these pieces of kit fluff. Why fluff? Well, they're not 100% necessary, but they definitely help the rest of our large format experience. Let's break down my 5 pieces of large format fluff that I recommend you look into for your large format camera. The first piece of fluff, and really if you're only going to go with one thing off of this list today, the one that you want to splurge on, handheld light meter. But you don't have to go for a crazy pistol looking spot meter like this. You can use your smartphone, your digital camera. The thing you're looking for here is a meter that you plan on carrying with you and your camera. I use this Sekonic L778 Dual Spot F mainly because it's great for metering specific subjects at long distances from the camera. It also has a flash sync port through a PC and a hot shoe, so I can use this thing in or out of the studio effectively. Bonus points, it kind of does look like a concealed carry when I've got it on my belt. Okay, large format piece of fluff number 2. A loop. How else are you going to see the ground glass? Well, you probably could. If you've got really good eyes that you trust, go for it. Me, on the other hand, not so much. A magnifying loop is a great way to check all of those fine little details that your large format camera is so great at gathering. Large format typically has depth of field issues, and being able to magnify in to 100% is a great way to make sure you're seeing everything crystal clear. Now, it doesn't have to be a dedicated photo branded loop like the 3 I've got here, but really anything to magnify it is going to work. You can reverse a 50mm lens to make a really budget loop if you've got one of those. You can use a jeweler's loop or like a simple hobby loop like a Peak 8x or 10x loop. You can spend as much or as little as you want on this, just something that helps you magnify. I like these because they're focusable, and these taller ones are great for 4x5 and 8x10 just because it pulls you a little further away from the glass so your head's not smacking the front of the camera. So a dedicated loop goes a long way. If you're starting to see a trend here, large format fluff and me, we accumulate. I tend to get lots and lots and lots of large format fluff. It just happens over time. I used to look at other photographers and say, wow, how do they have so much gear? And then 10, 12 years have passed and I go, oh yeah, now I know. Now I'm like a burden to the estate. The third piece of large format fluff isn't even present here on the table because it's a little too big. Let me go grab it. My third piece of recommended large format fluff is a dark cloth. Really? This could be anything from a piece of black fabric to a t-shirt, or if you want to get fancy, the folks over at Black Jacket make a really good focusing cloth. Shout out to Wanderer, they make some great dark cloths. Link to them in the description. The fourth piece of large format fluff, I'm going to reach over here. It's not the holders, it's actually what's underneath the holders. That's right, a resealable plastic bag. 1 gallon, 2 gallon freezer storage bags, refrigerator bags, they're great. They keep out excess dust, moisture, sand, anything you could get into in the field. They're going to prevent that from getting on your holders. Holders are inexpensive, but at the same time, cleaning them and getting stuff on your film is just never that fun. So avoid it, spend a couple bucks, get those plastic bags. If you really want to splurge, you can get the anti-static ones that you can pick up at Micro Center or Best Buy for storing hard drives, but I think that's a little bit extra. My last piece of large format fluff, number 5, cable releases. I usually have as many cable releases with me as I have lenses. This is just to ensure, even if I do lose something, even if one breaks, I have some redundancy in my kit. Cable releases are pretty simple devices. All we have to do, depress the plunger. This one's already in its locked position, so when this piece is up, goes in, I press it again, and that unlocks it for the exposure. If I twist this bit down, now when I press the plunger, it trips the shutter. You will break these, you will lose these. Get as many as you have lenses so you're covered. All right, so to recap, 5 pieces of large format fluff. Number 1, handheld light meter. You gotta get the exposure somehow. Number 2, a loop. You gotta see the ground glass. 3, you still gotta see the ground glass. Get a dark cloth. Number 4, plastic bags. You don't want dust and moisture getting in there. And number 5, cable releases. You gotta trip the shutter. Thanks for stopping by today. If you're just getting into large format photography and this is the first video that you're seeing in my series, make sure to subscribe and check out the rest of the Large Format Friday videos below. Each week, there's going to be a new feature on another aspect of large format photography. The great thing about photography is it never stops, and the worst part about photography is it never stops. We're all in this together. Let's help each other out. If you have any questions, drop those down below in the comments as well. I try to get to every question when possible, and let's face it, I love talking about large format. So we'll see you next time. Until then, enjoy your Large Format Friday.